Ay, kasi baliktad. Papayos ko muna.
Hindi, actually, lipat ko yun sa time mamaya. Pag VO na. Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon reveals her vote to disqualify presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. But she also claims that a political influence is delaying the release of her division's resolution. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno claims there's a revenge plot between Marcos Jr. and Vice President Leni Robredo should any of them be elected president. VP Robredo sets the record straight after her rivals cried foul over her answers in Boy Abunda's interview. The Octa Research Group says a COVID resurgence is now unlikely in Metro Manila, but the Interior Department says it's not yet time to ease restrictions. And Kim Kardashian denies Kanye West's claim that she had a second private video with rapper Ray J. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon believes the resolution on Marcos Jr.'s disqualification case is deliberately being delayed so that her vote would no longer count. Jen Calimon with the details.
Comelec Commissioner Rowena Guanzon did not hold back from expressing her dismay over the late release of resolution on cases against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Guanzon is the presiding commissioner of the First Division, which handles the disqualification cases against Marcos. Guanzon said that she already had her separate opinion as early as January 17. She voted to disqualify Marcos due to his tax evasion case, which she said involves moral turpitude.
It's moral turpitude that he did not file for 4 years. He did not file his income tax return, did not pay taxes. And then when he was convicted in courts and he was made to pay a fine, he did not pay the fine. It was admitted by his lawyer that they did not pay the fine in the regional trial court.
But even if Guanzon is the presiding commissioner, she is not the ponente who is responsible for writing the decision.
We agreed on January 17, the three of us. But January 17, she said she could not produce it. So I said, okay, so when can you do it? And then she said that the lawyer had COVID. So, well, even if your lawyer has COVID, you can still work at home, which we all do. Anyway, I just decided that this is no longer excusable, that it's been, 17 days?
She is accusing Commissioner Amy Ferolino for allegedly delaying the process of issuing a resolution. Guanzon revealed that they have already set a date for its release, but Ferolino did not comply.
Commissioner Ferolino is now incommunicado. She cannot be reached by... I sent her a text message 3 days ago. She did not reply. Another commissioner called her up. She could not be reached. We asked the chairman to give her a call, so I don't know if he was able to reach her. Commissioner Ferolino should have respect for me as a very senior commissioner and her presiding commissioner. This has never happened before, that the presiding commissioner is disrespected. Wala namang reason why she cannot call me, text me.
Guanzon cannot even contact Ferolino until now. And for the most senior commissioner, this is outright disrespectful.
What's the big mystery there? This case is so easy. They're delaying it so that my vote will not be counted because I'm retiring. There's political influence. I don't care what her vote is. Just release the resolution. Commissioner Casqueo and I can sign whether we agree with her or not.
She alleged that an influential person is behind Ferolino's delaying tactics, for Guanzon is about to retire on February 2. In a text message, Commissioner Ferolino said that she cannot provide a reaction to Guanzon's statements. She said she does not want to violate any rule and that she would rather maintain her silence. She also refused to give a comment when asked on when they would release a decision. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
Now, the presidential race heats up as aspirants make bolder statements even against their own opponents in recent interviews. Ryan Ang with the report.
During Boy Abunda's interview with Manila Mayor Isko Moreno that aired last night, Moreno answered the question why people should not vote for his opponents in the presidential race. The mayor said that people can vote for Senator Ping Lacson because he is okay, or Senator Manny Pacquiao because he is a nice person. But that's not the case for Vice President Leni Robredo and former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Moreno claimed that Robredo will seek revenge against Marcos Jr. and President Duterte, while Marcos Jr. will be seeking revenge against, quote, Dilawans and Pinklawans.
Maghihiganti sa mga Marcos at Duterte. Maghihiganti sa mga Dilawan at Pinklawan.
And his answers on why people should vote for him.
Hindi ako maghihiganti kanino man. Wala akong paghihigantihan. Ako, sa dami ng problema, sa bilis ng problema, kailangan natin ng mga tunay na solusyon at mabilis na aksyon. That I can do in my own little way.
In another interview with Abunda that aired last Wednesday, Robredo answered the same questions, where she did not hold back in taking jobs at her opponents. Robredo said that Marcos is a liar and doesn't show up during difficult moments, while Lacson talks a lot and lacks on-the-ground action. She also said that Moreno's stance on a lot of issues is unclear. When asked why people should choose her instead, Robredo had this to say.
Ako, boy, pinakita sa nitong crisis na to and many other crises in the past na ang mga babaeng leader nagsha-shine during crisis. And ako, pinakita ko yan sa maraming trabaho namin dito sa OVP. Marami kaming mga crisis na nalagpasan with flying colors.
Her responses to Abunda's questions, as expected, irked her rivals. In a tweet, Senator Lacson said he's done enough action on the ground, but he doesn't aim to catch any attention. Marcos' camp, meanwhile, said that they do not want to be involved in negative and hate campaigning. Amid the reactions, Robredo said she just answered the question thrown at her with her honest opinion.
Ayoko nang dagdagan pa yung conversation. Alam ko na may mga mararuffle ako ng feathers, pero tinatanong kasi ako eh. Ayoko naman na sumagot na parang umiiwas. Sa akin lang yung tanong, sinagot ko. In my honest opinion, yun talaga yung palagay ko na kailangan ko isagot. Alam ko na ready naman ako. Ready ako pero para mag-react pa sa mga reaction nila, tingin ko hindi naman necessary na.
For News 5, Ryan Ang, We Are One News.
A political analyst believes Vice President Leni Robredo gained a few things from her recent interviews despite criticism against her so-called honest opinion. On One News's The Big Story, Professor Jean Encinas Franco said Robredo was able to portray her feisty side amid sexist remarks against her run. This, according to the expert, showed that the vice president is braver and more capable than what critics make her out to be. Encinas Franco added that Robredo was able to present her platforms, her stand on issues, and her proposed framework for governance through the interviews.
Kasi lahat naman ng mga paratang sa kanya from the very start are really very, ginagawa siyang parang mahina dahil babae siya, walang substance dahil babae siya. Pero in fact, she showed that she's really capable of being feisty. So that's one. The second one is that's probably how she really felt about her opponents.
Meanwhile, another political analyst says a negative campaign against Bongbong Marcos will not work. On 1PH's Wag Po, Attorney Tony Lavinia said Robredo should instead give reasons to at least 25% of Marcos' supporters to vote for her instead.
Kung Duterte voter ka, bakit ka boboto kay Leni? Yun ang kailangan kailangan nilang ma-decipher yon. What will make a Duterte supporter move to Lenny from where they are now na kay Marcos sila?
Things might be looking up for Metro Manila, with Octa Research saying we might be over the Omicron hump. Despite this, the government believes it's not yet time to downgrade to Alert Level 2. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the story.
With COVID numbers consistently going down, things are looking up for Metro Manila. The Octa Research Group says a COVID resurgence in NCR is now highly unlikely, and it may be time to start easing quarantine restrictions and shortening the number of days of those staying in isolation facilities.
We're now down to high risk, and I think within a few days by next week, we'll be down to moderate risk.
Incubation period for Omicron is 3 days as compared to 5. I actually believe we can shorten this to 3.
Coming from more than 20,000 new cases per day, on Wednesday only 2,500 cases were reported in the NCR. Reproduction rate, or the number of individuals a COVID positive could infect, is now down to 0.63. Octa microbiologist Father Nikos Riaco says it looks like the capital region is now already out of the woods. But Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya said we cannot loosen up just yet. But if we finally go down to Alert Level 2, Malaya said we could also let go of the controversial no vax, no ride policy.
Posible po yan dahil ito pong no vax, no ride policy ay applicable lamang pag Alert Level 3 and higher.
But that's still a question mark for the rest of the country, with new daily cases continuing to reach new highs. Baguio City, for example, has a positivity rate of 65%, according to Octa, which means 6 out of every 10 person getting tested for COVID-19 in Baguio turn up positive. The Health Department reported on Thursday 618 new Omicron cases, and majority of these are Omicron subvariant BA.2. But so far, scientists don't see any significant difference between the two subvariant. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
Metro Manila mayors are ready for a shift in alert levels. This was confirmed by MMDA General Manager Romando Artes in an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang. Artes explained since the local chiefs have already gone through almost all alert levels, he believes that they are prepared if ever the national government decides to change NCR's alert level system. Meanwhile, Artes also said that the partial number coding scheme must be continued even if the metro is still under alert level 3.
Ngayon po, sa aming observation, light pa rin po yung daloy ng traffic. Although paminsan-minsan po nagiging moderate, pero never pa pong naging heavy simula noong nag-angat po tayo sa alert level 3.
Pero may number coding pa rin?
Meron pa rin po, 5 to 8 p.m. Para po, mahirap po kasi magpapalit-palit ng policy. Anyway, 3 hours lang naman po, hindi po whole day yung ating number coding scheme.
Kim Kardashian and rapper Ray J have both reacted to Kanye's claims that they had a second sex tape together. Recall that in a media interview, Kanye said he himself prevented this second sex tape from leaking. He also said Kim K was so relieved with what he did that she broke down in tears. But Kim Kardashian's rep released a statement denying the Yeezy designer's claims. Kim's camp categorically said there is no second explicit tape that exists. They also expressed Kim's intent to move on from this chapter in her life after 20 long years. Ray J wishes the same, pointing out that all this publicity can't be good for his kids. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe. Philippines, we are One News.